guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be doing some work here in the cut flower garden. I want to update you on a few things. We've got some plants to dig and move, and we've got some plants to pull. So I'm standing here in the rose garden quadrant, and you can see that all but 11 of the roses have already been dug up and taken to new homes. And I have to say I'm loving it. I am. So we're going to be digging 5 of those today and moving them. But, you know, we're just needing to clear it out since we decided to kind of go a different direction with this space. And for those of you who haven't seen any of our updates about it, we decided to sort of change this into a formal garden space because that's really what speaks to me. I love that. I like both. I like to see nice formally clipped hedging, maybe backed by some more abundant looking planting. I just feel like it brings, well, one, we needed some serious winter interest out here because this space, like what you see right here, this is what you see 5-6 months out of the year. And it's along our main driveway. It just looks so barren and there's nothing out here. So we decided to frame in each one of these quadrants with boxwood hedging, and we are going to be bringing in some shade trees, which will not be shade trees for probably 10-15 years. And I do intend on still growing a lot of the same flowers that we have out here, you know, but just in a different configuration, smaller rows, so on and so forth. So our main goal has been to at least get things dug and removed from the perimeter. When you get to this space right here, the boxwoods will come up to about here and then they'll cruise in, and it'll be like kind of excluding this space right here where the benches are. And I'll probably do something more ornamental in here. We've got a lot of work yet to do in this quadrant. In fact, that'll probably be the last one we plant because there's still a bunch of annual flowers looking good. We do have a pretty cold night on the forecast, so I know a lot of this stuff's gonna go here very, very soon. But it's kind of fun to see the last little bits of color. The Kochiana looking beautiful. Also the Dahlia quadrant looking amazing at the moment. Of course it does. Like right before everything is going to, you know, get taken with the frost, it's just so full of color. Kind of bouncing back to the annual quadrant. You can't even walk through this at this point. It's just like a sea of flowers. And there's a few that you just need to be pulled, but it is pretty. But when we drive through here, or anybody drives through here in the wintertime, it's just slicked up clean and there's nothing. Same with this section right here. I'm gonna be digging some of the dahlia varieties because I still want to grow dahlias, but just in smaller amounts. I was just noticing this one. Look at this. Look at how pretty that is. Oh, if that one has a variety name. I don't see a variety name, but that's gorgeous. I'll probably save that. And then this quadrant right here, I've got a lot of perennials in here, but I don't actually need to worry about moving a lot of them because they're in the interior, which will have more time. All we really need to make sure is that the edges are cleared. So we've got strawberries, which these were their 4th year, I think. Look at this. Gorgeous. The plants look really crummy, but the strawberries are good. I miss that fresh flavor so much in the wintertime. Anyway, we'll still have a chance to get in here and move a lot of these plants even after the boxwoods are in. So I'm not concerned about the stuff in the interior. It's just the edges, basically. And there's all the boxwoods. You can pull up all the strip tape. Oh my goodness. So these are winter gems. And I am so impressed with the size. I feel like we got these right before they were going to bump them up into a bigger size container. And sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes you buy a bigger one and it's one that maybe isn't even quite rooted into its larger container, but it's on the small side because it's just been bumped up. So we got really lucky. Also, I think we got them before they tagged them all too, so we don't have to take tags off of every single plant. We ordered these months ago and then had them scheduled to be delivered the week after the Dreamstream because we just knew we wouldn't have time to tackle this project. Plus, I wanted to give everything that we had already planted its full time out here, or as long as we could give it. But did I mention these are the winter gem variety? So they're the type that we have up in the Persephone garden. Those hedges look the very best on our entire property. We've got around the fireplace and in a few other areas, but they seem to just grow with a really nice network of branching inside. We treat all of our boxwood hedging the same, but these just, they thicken up and they're stronger than any other variety we've grown so far, so that when we do get heavy snow or heavy rainfall, they can withstand it. We just are so few and far between with those kind of heavy downpours that our plants don't build up much of a resistance. Those seem to handle it decently. So anyway, those will be planted around each quadrant. There will be a walkway going this way, so there'll be entry points on this side, and there'll also be a walkway going through the center that way. So there will be 4 points of access to each area. And then I do plan on continuing boxwoods in the center in a different configuration, but that'll be for another year. Let's take a quick look at the 5 rose varieties that we are going to be moving today. So this one is called My Best Friend, and I absolutely love it. The cool temperatures are bringing out the pink in the petals, but this one has such a beautiful growth habit. It stays like this. It doesn't get the wild arms, and you can see, you know, how thick it was with blooms even just like a week ago. We need to deadhead. In fact, I'm going to cut the roses back that I moved, but I just love the color of this one. This is another one here. It's called Winter Sunset. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at the buds here. And then more of an open rose here, a little peachy apricot color. Again, with the growth habit, it's super pleasant. It's not one that requires a whole bunch of trimming to keep it, you know, contained. And then we've got this one right here, which, can I remember what it's called? No, I'm gonna have to look it up. Gorgeous pink one. So row 4, rose 4 is April Love. And then I am gonna move this one. It's called South Park, and it's been struggling a bit, except it's pushed some absolutely gorgeous blooms just lately. So I'm hoping that maybe it's coming out of whatever weirdness. I mean, it has been dealing with thrips and stuff, but I really want this one to do well. And then the last one is Ashley, which has great big kind of pinky looking blooms, and there's no example on it right now. As you can see, they're all done. And the remaining 6 are going to a new home today. So by the end of today, this whole space should be cleared out. I initially had tagged like 18 roses that I wanted to dig and move, and then I just got to thinking about how much time that was going to take and was it worth the effort when I knew that they would go to good homes where people would really love to have them. And you know, it's something that I can make notes and then fill in with those varieties later on, should we want to add those back in. So I gave Bethany first shot at any rose variety she wanted, and so she went through and she took a bunch home to her house, and then a couple other friends came yesterday and took a whole trailer load, and then a friend's coming back this afternoon to get the last 6. So anyway, it makes me happy to spread them around, and it also makes me happy to not have to dig all of them. Okay, so that's it for our tour/updates. I'm gonna grab my pruners and my bag, and I think I'm gonna cut all the roses back first, and then we will dig them. Okay, here they are. So we've got the South Park, April Love, My Best Friend, Winter Sunset, and Ashley. And you can see how much of the root system I got, which is actually better than what I normally get. It's amazing how extensive they can get in just 1 year. But now we've got the 6 left until later today. I also cut a little bouquet of the April Love and South Park roses to take inside. I couldn't bear to sacrifice any really good looking blooms. Okay, now we need to go find spots for those. Okay, so right in here, I'm thinking one of the pink roses. We've got a lot of purple going on. There's some chamomile. I'm hoping seeds itself around in here. There's some of the Fama Blue pincushion flower. Look at how gorgeous these are. These are easy to start from seed, and they're perennial. They've got amazingly long stems for cut flower arrangements, and they last for quite a long time in a vase. Highly recommend. But we've got also some Eryngium, which is blue. We do have some pink echinacea, but I'm thinking maybe if I tuck the rose right back in here, it can kind of fill in this space. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty. I went in with the April Love variety right here because it was the easiest to get out of the back of the gator, and it's pink. Okay, second to last rose. We're gonna go in right here with the Winter Sunset, which is that light apricot. I think it'll look really pretty right here. All right, the last one, the South Park variety, is gonna go right here, and I already see it has a wet spot, so I know there's drip right there. That's perfect. Also, this Montana moss juniper, oh, isn't that gorgeous? I think that is the most beautiful thing. I think that the website says it grows like 2 by 5. I think ours is like 10 feet wide at this point, and maybe 3 feet at the very tallest branch, but I love the growth habit. I've got a couple of these I'm going to put out by the stream area. I just think they're beautiful. All the roses are now in the ground, so we can head back to the cut flower garden. I think what I'd like to move next are the rhubarb plants, which I'm not sure we looked at this morning, but they need to be moved. All right, guys, it is a new day. My niece and nephew were actually over yesterday, and after I got the roses moved, I decided to go spend some time with them. We did a bunch of watercoloring and paper airplane races and played in the pond and all those things. And I'm glad I did it because, boy, I think that was our last really warm day because it is chilly today. But the rose garden since yesterday is completely cleared out. Right after we got our 5 roses moved, my friend came over and got the remaining 6. So we are like prepped and ready to, well, almost prepped. We got to pull up all this old drip tube that runs each row, and then we'll move those 2 large containers in the beginning. Also, Paul and Bethany, they were out here later in the afternoon, cleared out these first 2 rows, looking so nice and clean. They're going to be tackling the sunflowers today. In fact, when we pull them up, Bethany takes the sunflowers to the pigs, but we're going to save all the seed heads here so that the kids and I can feed the birds and the chickens. So the last thing I actually want to get moved today are the 3 crimson cherry rhubarb plants we have out here. I'm kind of switching gears just a little bit because we do have 2 nights at 33 degrees or 35. I'll have to double check. It's like mid to low 30s, and I want to get the tropical water lilies out of the pond and into the greenhouse. So here they are. There are 3 plants. You can see they're looking a little tired, but boy, were they ever productive. Look how huge this one leaf is. I mean, just amazing. That one's always struggled a little bit more though. So maybe by moving it, we'll get it into a location where it's a little bit happier. I don't know. The dahlias are still pretty happy out here. I'm gonna wait till the last possible second to pull these. I'm actually kind of hoping a frost takes them first, so it makes me feel less bad about removing them. I hear Samantha. There she is. Hey, baby. Oh, she's running. What are you doing? You want to check on the spider? Remember where it's at? Right there. We've got a massive orb weaver out here. It's so cool. Look at that big thing. My goodness. Can't get too close on it because this camera does not focus on close up. But there it is.
What about if it gets more harder winder and then the spider will go?
If we get harder wind?
Yeah.
The spider, I don't know, that web is pretty strong. Spiders kind of know what to do. They're used to weird weather.
Yeah.
So no worries, I think the spider will be okay. Have you named it yet?
No.
No, not yet. We'll call it Spidey. Okay, I'm gonna grab my shovel and we're gonna get these dug up.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. See, now that you'd be able to put down in some water. Got all the rhubarb dug up. We've got 4 bunches of them. One of the bunches just kind of split apart when I dug it up, which is perfectly fine. Because there was a lot of growth here, I just pulled it off because the leaves were tattered. And then this is the other half of it right here. And then this is the one that was in the middle that has always kind of struggled a little bit more. And then our big one, which I don't know how much that weighs. It doesn't look very big, but my word, this was heavy. And Samantha's been creating a collection of blooms. Very nice, baby girl. Okay, one more small area cleared out. So let's go get these back in the ground. Okay, so I'm thinking of just popping them right over here since we've got the blackberries, raspberries, grapes, and also a couple honeyberries and a currant, which is right here. So this will create a really beautiful shrub with berries on it. It's kind of an area of edibles, so it seems appropriate to put the rhubarb over here. However, they look really pretty worked into flower beds. They've got such an enormous, bold texture that I think that they're really interesting mixed in with some other things. So I might pop, I don't know, I might pop them on this side even. Let's get them in the ground. Fit than that. Yeah. I've never planted a drift of rhubarb before, but here we are. All 4 of them lined up right along the back side of this flower bed. I think that we'll probably end up taking this rock pathway all the way straight out to the grass, but there'll also be another access point here to the berry beds. We stopped here because we were unsure of how we wanted to configure this, but I think that's probably the direction it will go. Oh, I think this is going to be really neat looking though. I do want to put a smallish evergreen right here. We've got some Invincible ruby hydrangeas that we recently planted. Planted this birch this year, which, it just lights up this area. I love it. We also planted the Stokes aster, which they're doing really well. And the phlox in this space, that's the opalescence variety. It's one of my favorite phlox varieties right there. So I do intend on coming in with something a little bit shorter on this side, but then we'll see that great big bold rhubarb texture. I think it's gonna be awesome right here. Okay, so the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna run to the greenhouse. We're gonna get the hardy water lily out, which I'm gonna have to have Paul and Aaron help me with that because it's in a massive container and it weighs so much. So they're gonna help me move that into the pond because that one can overwinter outside. In fact, it overwintered from last year and it was bigger this year than it was last year. And then we are gonna move the tropicals into the greenhouse. Probably better kick the heater on too. All right, so here in the greenhouse, you can see the couple of lilies that I have in here. We're going to be putting together a water feature in here utilizing these 2 bowls, but I wanna get this hardy lily out. It's heavy.
Is it?
Yeah, Paul went to go grab the cart that does not have sides on it because this is just like this huge tub right here.
We just set it right here and...
Yeah, we can just bring a cart right alongside it, I think.
Cool.
It's nice and warm in here. Yeah, it says it's 75 in here. I do have a tropical water lily in here I just repotted. It's not looking so great. I wonder if it already got too cold because I had all the sides open and I don't know. Anyway, does that feel awesome? Are you in quicksand? Yeah. These sandboxes still a hit in here, and the cats totally leave them alone. The breeze has picked up a little bit. You can see a bunch of leaves in the pond, but the skimmer is working awesome. Yeah. It really is. So I'm going to go grab my waders because I got to get this tropical out. There's 2 of them in here because that's right where I want to set the other one. Okay, the transfer has been made. There's the hardy water lily back in its original spot. It just sits right on top of the fish cave where the fish hang out a lot of the winter, but they're hanging out right here because they think I've got food. They've already had treats today. Such spoiled fish. But you'll notice all the leaves. I did do a little bit of netting. They're all over the place. I would say maybe though about half of the leaves or a little over half of the leaves have dropped from that tree. Kind of love the way it looks though. It gives it such a natural feel. Some people net their ponds during leaf drop. I'm not sure how we would manage that with how long this one is. I'm sure it could be done. But for now, we're just gonna be diligent about checking the skimmer box, which is working beautifully. In fact, if you watch the leaves, you can see them all moving toward the box and going inside it, right underneath that log over there. Of course, they get caught up on the sides and stuff, so we'll have to clean those out. All of us enjoy working around and in the pond though, so it's not a huge chore for us. Not yet anyway, it's just still such a novelty, and even the original pond. It's just so wonderful to be out here that I could just spend all day out here just picking leaves off the side. But we will probably wait until all the leaves have fallen to do a big major overhaul clean out. We'll just make sure, like I said, the skimmer box is emptied several times a day and that we net out any major pile-ups that we see forming. Thankfully, this tree drops them quick, so it won't be too long before we can get after that. But now we can get our 2 tropicals into the greenhouse. They will be so much happier in there. All right, Miss Samantha, let's roll. Ooh, the breeze, you guys. Oh, I had to go back and grab my vest. Samantha took over. Good job, Samantha. Look at how strong you are. Oh, wow. That's heavy. Here, baby, I'll help you.
I can do it.
All by yourself? Okay. I don't mind helping, babe. Oh, wow. You're cooking with grace, girl. Now I gotta get it around some curves. High five for being awesome. Thank you for your help. Okay, we've got our lilies all set up in here. I made kind of a mess of the water with the hose. I filled it up several more inches and I groomed all the lilies like pretty harshly. So everything that's left on them is really nice. So I'm excited to see how they do in here. And we've even got some little things floating around in there. That'll be fun, huh? Yeah. So my goal with this whole water fountain setup is to have this one raised up sort of like it is now, but see how it's got this little notch? And there's like a piece that you can put on here so that you don't have to utilize the notch. Like you can have it plugged like that, or you can have the water come and spill out this. And that's kind of what I want to do, is build up something right behind this one and have it spilling down into this reservoir and just have it kind of recirculate like a normal fountain does. And then we could probably pop a few more plants in the top level and possibly get a few little fish. I think that'd be a really fun thing to have in here for the winter months. I hope that the lilies are happy. Of course, this is an experiment for me. I've never overwintered tropical water lilies before, not like this. I tried to save the tuber, I think that's what they call it, the tuber, last year without any success. So hopefully, even if they don't look awesome in here, I hope I can just like limp them by enough to get them to next late spring, early summer, when we can pop them back out. I always try to do something fun in here for the winter months. So like 2 years ago, we had the lawn in here where the kids could come out and play, and we did picnics out here. And then last year we popped the little swimming pools out here full of sand, and I expected that just to be a winter project, but the kids, both of them, played with the sand all throughout the summer, and like Samantha's playing in it today. So I think we're just gonna keep those right where they're at. And so we'll have sandboxes and we'll have a water feature in here. And maybe we can grab a few more chairs. I'm not gonna be starting quite as many seeds. I probably shouldn't say that. I'll probably be starting a lot of seeds. I'm going to be starting fewer of each type of seed that I usually grow, because we're going to be doing things differently out there in that cut flower garden. So I kind of want to set this up as more of a space where we can come out and really enjoy some warmth and kind of some outside time while not having to actually be outside in the cold. And honestly, this greenhouse could stand some major organization at this point. We've kind of got just like a little bit of this and that. It kind of gets really full in the spring and then it clears out. And now we're starting to bring in little things. I've got hollyhocks growing in the ground right here, like in the gravel, and you know, just have stuff. I've got a tomato growing in the ground right here. It's produced tomatoes all season long. I think this is the Proven Winners Patio Sunshine. You want to eat one of them? Mm-hmm. They're tasty. Yum. I had some of them in a green stock garden that was right here last year, so I'm guessing one of the tomatoes fell on the ground and the seeds hung out, and there you have it. I've got another one popping up over here. Got a few weeds too. There's the tomato, and then there's a little geranium right there. Another seed that fell on the ground. I like to leave these sorts of things just to see what they'll do. Anyway, guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back out in the cut flower garden soon to continue our work out there, and then we'll be planting really soon too, I hope. See you guys in the next video. Bye. Quick PS, I just took about 10 minutes and organized a little bit, so it is already looking a little bit better. I just wanted to show you. Groomed up some plants, moved some things around, moved the table back over to the side, so this is all opened up now. So what we'll probably do is scoot that bowl forward a bit so that we can accommodate something larger for that to set on right behind it. And yeah, I think we could create some sort of seating area, like right in here and right in here, and really enjoy this space this winter. It's amazing what you can get done in just 10 minutes. I need to do that more often. Just set my timer and take after a spot for a little bit and improve it as much as I can.